Hello, I'm Doctor of Traditional Chinese Medicine Christiane Parrott. In this extended version of my previous webinar about the major organs in Chinese medicine, we're just going to be taking a much more in-depth look into the major yin organs of the body, looking at further detail and looking at all of the functions rather than just the more basic predominant functions of those organs. So if you find yourself a little overwhelmed with the amount of information, that's okay. This takes us a long time to learn. And you can always rewatch the webinar. And I also have a handout on my website in the resources section to give you a hand. The liver in Chinese medicine has many functions. First and foremost, storing the blood and regulating the circulating volume of blood in the body. And this liver blood also regulates menstruation. The liver ensures the smooth and free flowing of qi in the body, making sure that qi is moving in the proper direction in the proper place. So in different areas of your body, qi moves in different directions, and the liver makes sure that this is done correctly and smoothly. The liver controls the sinews, or the tendons, ligaments, and fascia. It opens to the eyes and controls your tears. The liver manifests on the nails, so often you can see ridges along your nails, and that's just an indication that your liver function is a little bit stagnated. And the emotion that affects the liver is anger. It also shows up if your liver itself is in a dysfunctional state. You will find yourself more irritable and angry. So some of the symptoms related to the liver are menstrual disorders, so irregular periods, PMS, breast tenderness, and cramps, a disrupted emotional state, and this is due to the function of the regulation of the flow of qi, eye or vision problems, problems with the tendons and ligaments, lack of flexibility or a weakness in your tendons and ligaments, headaches and migraines, hypochondriac pain, and irritability, feelings of resentment, anger, frustration, and often rage can also be a symptom of the liver. The heart functions are to dominate the blood. The heart controls the blood vessels. It also controls sweating. The heart houses the shen, and the shen can be thought of as our mind and our consciousness. So the heart supports and controls our mental activities and is related with memory, thinking, the emotions, and sleep. And every emotion affects the heart. However, its emotion is joy. The heart controls speech and opens to the tongue and manifests in the face. So you can often find heart problems when you look at someone's face. So symptoms of the heart organ are disturbances in sleep, like insomnia, restlessness, excessive dreaming, problems with the circulation or any blood problems, such as atherosclerosis or a hardening of the arteries, high blood pressure, and you can see on the face as well, poor oxygenation of the blood in blue lips or a purple nose. Irregular heart rhythm and palpitations, changes in your speech such as stuttering, excessive talking, especially when you're feeling really overexcited, you talk a lot, and aphasia, which is a lack of the ability to speak. Ulcers on the tongue show up often when there is a heart issue. Poor memory or dull thinking, abnormal sweating, especially when it's related to emotional stress. The spleen's functions are to govern the transportation and transformation. And this is in regards to our chi energy and creating our chi from food. So it transports and distributes this energy throughout the body, and it transforms our food into food energy, and then also creates blood from this food. Because the spleen produces our chi, it is an extremely important organ to keep healthy, and there is actually an entire branch of Chinese medicine where the focus of all their treatments for all diseases is to strengthen and protect the spleen and stomach energy. The spleen energy controls our digestion. It also controls the blood, and what we mean by controlling the blood is it keeps it inside our blood vessels. It also plays a role in creating our blood. And it controls the ascending of our chi energy. So it brings our chi from food energy up to the lungs, and then the lungs then disperse our energy throughout the rest of our body. Also, this ascending function of spleen chi lifts and holds our internal organs, keeping them in place. The spleen opens to the mouth and manifests in the lips and controls our saliva. Another aspect of digestion, we have digestive enzymes in our saliva, and without knowing this, the ancient Chinese in their infinite wisdom still knew that the spleen controls saliva, not knowing that it had anything to do necessarily with digestion. The spleen governs our muscles and our forelimbs, and it houses the intellect and thinking, so our ability to memorize, our ability to focus on a mental task. And it is affected by overthinking and worry and overwork. The symptoms of the spleen organ are low energy and fatigue, poor digestion and poor appetite, and improper nourishment, so the inability to really absorb the nutrients in your food, and loose stools, excessive craving for sweet foods and carb-rich foods like pasta. You can get water retention and a feeling of heaviness, especially in the limbs when you wake up first thing in the morning, or in your head you get those really weird, heavy, damp feeling headaches. Easy bruising is another sign of weakness in the spleen. Weak muscles or muscle atrophy and poor coordination. Prolapsed organs are often a sign of weakness in the spleen, and poor memory, trouble concentrating or fuzzy thinking, and poor mental focus. The lungs, the functions of the lungs are to dominate chi and respiration. It creates and distributes defensive chi, known as wei chi, which is similar to our immune function, and it dominates dispersing and descending. So this refers to the movement of chi and fluids in our bodies. It brings our chi out to all areas of the body and disperses it to different organs, to the skin and muscles. It does the same thing with fluid. It regulates the water passages, opening and closing our pores, and again with the dispersing and descending, making sure that fluids in the body go to the right place. It opens to the nose and controls nasal mucus. The lungs govern the voice, so this isn't speech, but our voice. It manifests in the skin and governs the skin and body hair, and it is affected by grief and sadness. Or if there's a dysfunction, you can feel sad for no real reason. So the symptoms related to the lung are any problems with breathing, shortness of breath, cough, problems with the nose, so nasal congestion, sneezing, postnasal drip, allergies, frequent or susceptibility to colds and flu, and those colds and flus tend to be more intense and lingering, abnormal sweating, low energy, edema or water retention. Problems in the skin, so eczema, psoriasis, and dry skin are all attributed to the lungs. And having a weak or quiet voice is a really good indication of weak lung qi. And the functions of the kidneys, one of the most important of our organs, is the storing of our essence. And our essence can be thought of as kind of our constitutional inherited strength, or our DNA, what we get from our parents. The kidneys also govern birth, growth, reproduction, and development. So as we grow, age, reproduce, that is all due to the functions of our kidneys. The kidneys produce marrow and govern the bones. And marrow in Chinese medicine does not only refer to bone marrow, it also refers to brain tissues, is referred to as marrow as well. And the kidneys, they also regulate our water movement, and they separate clear, good fluid from the turbid, bad fluid, and they send the turbid, bad fluid down to the urinary bladder, and then we excrete it as urine. The kidneys open to the ears, and they manifest in the hair of the head. So often you find with weak kidneys that you'll get early graying of the hair. The kidneys are the foundation of all the yin and yang in our body. It's all stored there. It's all created there. The kidneys also house our willpower, which provides us the courage, determination, and focus to accomplish our goals in life. And they are affected by the emotions of fear, stress, and anxiety. Those all weaken the kidneys. A condition that is becoming increasingly common in the West is adrenal fatigue, or the burnout of our adrenal glands from stress and overwork. In Chinese medicine, this condition is known as a deficiency in our kidney qi. In fact, most of the functions attributed to the kidneys in Chinese medicine are those related to our endocrine system in Western medicine. The symptoms related to the kidneys can be seen in late development or early aging, learning difficulties, and in later life senility, adrenal weakness, lethargy and fatigue or low vitality, deafness or tinnitus. Tinnitus is a ringing in the ears, low back and knee problems, arthritis and brittle bones or poor teeth. Sexual or fertility dysfunctions are related to the kidneys, so low or a lack of libido, impotence, erectile dysfunction, infertility in both males and females, premature ejaculations, and often miscarriages are due to a weakness in the kidneys. Urinary and bladder problems, hair loss, dry and brittle hair or early graying, as mentioned earlier. And the kidneys are also responsible for many of the symptoms related to menopause. It also can manifest as edema or swelling in the legs. And you can also feel fearful or timid if you have naturally weak kidneys. So, hopefully now you will be better able to recognize when you are out of balance and also why you're out of balance. Once you can properly identify which organs are weak or excessive, it is a simple matter of following the guidelines from the 5 elements theory to help you regain balance. However, if you find yourself consistently or more than just mildly out of balance, it may be best to seek the advice of a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine who can work with you towards reaching your goals of optimal health and wellness. Until next time, my best to your health and happiness.